Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel on this very cold and rainy day in Germany. Yes, and I'm still in Germany, and I am just so sad to report that Otis is getting worse and worse every day. He is acting up. I've tried some of your suggestions, and I don't know, I think I may have to cut my trip short. But I never imagined that it would get this bad. He is just not in a good spot, and I just feel horrible. I am just learning so much from being a dog owner. Yeah, it's a very tough situation right now, but let's just pray, and thanks to everyone's warm well wishes about Otis. I hope to have some better updates for him later, but I am trying to adjust to this situation. It's just not good. But with that said, it's not good for Harry and Meghan either. It looks like a lot of people are predicting bankruptcy and divorce for this couple. And I have to agree. I think, they put themselves in a predicament. But what is so fascinating is how they're trying to, at least Meghan is trying to cover up the negative headlines with something that we know to be a complete lie. I'll talk about that and something else around Princess Anne. Let's get into it. The Princess Royal's remarkable lifetime of service is being celebrated with a special tribute. The Royal Mint has revealed the very first official UK coin featuring Princess Anne in a commemoration for her 75th birthday. Dubbed Anniversary Coin, the £5 piece was personally approved by the Princess and King Charles. It displays a portrait of Anne wearing her aquamarine pine flower tiara with her hair arranged in her signature style. A powerful inscription is featured, the Princess Royal celebrating 75 years duty and devotion. Anne is widely regarded as the hardest working member of the royal family for her unwavering commitment across decades. I think it's really nice to see this special commemoration coin in honor of Princess Royal. She is definitely a hard-working royal, and at the same time, it seems that she expects the same of Prince William. I don't know if you've heard, but it looks like there's a little bit of a rift going between Princess Anne and Prince William around Prince William's working commitments. A little bit more on that later, but from what I saw, it looks like there is a little bit of tension going on. But I found that to be interesting, considering Princess Anne is a hard worker and she's expecting the same of Prince William. But I think it's a little bit different for William because, he has a young family. He's going to be the future king. His wife is dealing with health issues. It just seems a bit, I think, harsh. But leave it to Princess Anne. She is a hard worker, and she expects others to work just as hard, I guess, as she works. And when they don't, she has something to say about it. And to also the Princess Anne's credit, to her credit, she immediately saw that Meghan was not going to do well within the royal family. She saw that initially, and I just think she just has her finger on the pulse of what it's like to be a working royal, and it's not just her talking, it's her also demonstrating and showing that. But we have to see what happens with her and Prince William. I can imagine that it might be a little difficult for Prince William right now, but they did have a holiday in Greece. From what I saw, they were holidaying on this very expensive yacht. On the yacht of Abu Dhabi, the prince has offered them time on his super yacht in these Greek waters. And this is the ship. Can you imagine having a vacation on this yacht? I mean, you just look at the access Prince William has. I mean, I can only imagine that Meghan and Harry are just green with envy right now because they don't have this kind of access. They don't have this kind of luxury As a matter of fact, they're talking about they could be headed towards bankruptcy. But when you condone the bad behavior that Meghan and Harry have demonstrated, you just don't get afforded these kinds of things because you're going about it the wrong way. You're not taking the route that Princess Anne would take by working hard, demonstrating your commitment to the traditions of the monarchy. You are using your platform for selfish reasons and to badmouth your own families to make money. And at the end of the day, we can see that just does not pay off. It's the shortcut route to making money, and that's never a good thing. That's a good lesson for us all. Don't take the shortcut. Take the long road traveled with hard work, commitment, and dedication, and not the short route to slagging off your family and trying to make a fast buck by speaking negatively about your own family and tradition and heritage. And that just, Harry can see, was not a good way, because I think he's feeling the brunt of the life that he has chosen with Meghan, most assuredly. So it looks like they are facing financial and personal turmoil over this $100 million Netflix deal that has since collapsed. Now, you're not going to believe what Meghan is trying to say to make up for this, but this is what's happening. So they are facing this very detrimental financial collapse. They also added that the fallout with the streaming giant Netflix also could push Harry and Meghan towards bankruptcy and even to the brink of divorce. Despite their dream to build an empire via Archwell Productions, their partnership with Netflix, we know, has fizzled out. And who did not see that coming? Who didn't see it coming? You can't just come over to America with a title and get these big deals to say that you are going to produce content, and people think that you're going to be successful producing content, and it's something you've never done before. It's laughable. I mean, who didn't see this couple failing miserably at trying to produce content? There are people that have been putting out content and failing and restarting over and finally starting to make a way with things that they've been trying to do for years. And then Harry and Meghan think they can just come over to America and just do it with a title behind their name and think they're going to be successful. It really is showing that you don't have a grasp on reality. You don't have a grasp on what it's like for just common people to make money, to be successful. It's a lot of hard work. And had, I think, Meghan seen that by the work of Princess Anne and all the things that she's done around her role as a royal, you could see what it would take to be successful. That's why Princess Anne is getting this commemorative coin, because of how her hard work and her dedication. You know, there was so much there to show you a route to success that Meghan completely overlooked. And Harry had it in front of his face his whole lifetime, but he couldn't appreciate it because the example was right there with Princess Anne. And you didn't want to acknowledge that. You wanted to think you could do something just with an idea and a thought in your delusional nugget of a head and think you could be successful. And that's just not how it works. So what we see is that they have a fading public interest. Their falling viewership data resulted in the fallout with Netflix, and insiders have claimed that she had everything going for her: her name, her platform, publicity, but the viewing numbers, they just weren't there. People just did not care about her. And I believe, like I've always said, it's because of how Meghan has treated people. We live in a digital age. We can see what Meghan brings to the platform before she says a word, before she produces anything. How she persuaded Harry to treat his family. And people just are not going to view you or accept you for the things you have to offer when you have all these dead bodies of negativity trailing behind you. It just did not align well with the public. And so now they're facing bankruptcy. Another insider is also saying that Meghan and Harry relied on this deal heavily to sustain their upkeep of their $29 million mansion and their huge range of staff. Without it, and without massively curbing their spending, they could be headed towards bankruptcy. Now, Markle's lifestyle series With Love Meghan, which debuted in March, but struggled to gain traction, was ranked at 383 position on Netflix with just 5.3 million views in the first half of the year. The modest performance paled in comparison to the unexpected streaming rivalry of her previous legal drama Suits, which outshone her new project. She would have been better off staying with Suits, going to the Suits LA reboot. That would have been the better option. Just stay in your lane as an actress. Go back to the show that you were already on. But like I've said, Meghan's delusion, her narcissism, her ego got to her. She didn't want to go back to what she had already done. She wanted to elevate herself. And that elevation just was not there. You couldn't elevate yourself to another idea. Like, just stick with what people knew you from. Go back to Suits. She couldn't do it. Her ego wouldn't allow her to do that. And now look what has brought her. Now, a Netflix source is saying that there was initially curiosity about them, but that has evaporated. They have gone from buzzy to background noise. Then they're saying, like I started this video with, Harry and Meghan just are not natural content creators. Insiders have claimed that the couple lacked creative direction when it came to any of their content. Talking about Markle's show, a streaming source described it as well lit but flat. I'm telling you, it was pretty, it was pretty, it was professional, but it was flat. It lacks substance because of Meghan and her delusion of unauthentic behavior and trying to be so nice and purdy with everything. You gotta learn how to be real. She can't do it. She can't do it. Okay, another source noted that the pair are not natural content creators, that they're trying to be what they think the public wants rather than being authentic. I've always said it. People have said it, but they don't listen. They want to just be fake in all they're trying to put out content. Fake is not where it's at. You got to be real. So despite With Love Meghan getting a green lit for another season, the insiders believe that it is the streaming giant's gesture of courtesy to finish off everything remaining, considering their obligation that they had with the couple. They're just trying to be nice. They're just like, okay, they're going to throw you a bone. Here's a bone. Go ahead and, okay, we're going to show season 2. Okay, but that's it. No more. Sources said that the Netflix has zero interest in pursuing further projects. They're just waiting for the credits to roll on this unfortunate chapter. Bosses see commissioning any more content from this pair as a total waste of money. You got that right. Because let me tell you something. You give me an opportunity to go produce some content, it's going to be good. Okay? It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be real. It's going to be authentic. It's going to be fun. It's going to entertain. It's going to be all that. But when you don't have the name, when you don't have the resources, you don't get looked at. And what it is people look to people that have a name, that have titles behind them. They're curious, like, okay, what you got to offer? They're going to open the door to these people. They would be better off trying to have an open casting call with people who have great ideas, who will bring them good content and help them to elevate their numbers on the platform. And it's just not always that way for people. I mean, testament here. Other people that I've seen, great content is available, but getting in the door is the difficult path. And Meghan got in the door, but she just couldn't deliver. And I put it all on Meghan because we all know this was essentially her idea. This was Meghan wanting to do this, and Harry was just following along like a lost puppy because he was like, okay, let's do it. We're on the freedom flight. We're going to do this, girl. We're going to do this. We'll get that $29 million mansion that we don't really need. Let's go make ourselves appear like we are royalty in America. And then at the end of the day, they couldn't live up to that which they were trying to showcase. It's a big lesson. A big lesson. And I don't think they've quite learned from it because they're trying to say now, and I can't confirm this, but they're saying that even Meghan is considering coming back to the United Kingdom. that they think that they can get her back into the good graces along with Harry. I would have to say, au contraire, mon frere. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it's going to happen. But that's what I'm hearing. It's like a little tickle in my ear, but I don't know that I can believe that. Maybe, but from what I hear and what I see, the comments, the people, there's no way Harry and Meghan are going to be welcomed back into royalty. That's the only option that they have at this point. Sources are coming out saying that Meghan is locked in negotiations for a second contract with Netflix. The streaming giant has decided to draw up a new deal with Meghan. Not Meghan and Harry, but with Meghan, after their contract for the £73 million contract comes to an end in September. This is what I have to say. If this is true, this is Meghan telling Harry, go kick rocks. I'm getting ready to throw you and your family under a bus, and I'm going to do a new deal with Netflix. Just me. That is what is being said. But I'm going to have to talk about that in another video. But Meghan, if this story is true, it would only come from someone like Meghan, and the sign to me is that she is ready to make that money and kick Harry and the royal family to the curb. This is why I don't believe she's going to be going back to the United Kingdom. I believe she is full throttle ahead of trying to split from Harry to get her own deal with Netflix to make that money. That's what it looks like to me. But more to come. I'll see you all in the next video. Toodles!